Shalom and welcome back to the Sequential Midrash Agadah series. Today we arrive at one of the most extraordinary chapters in all of rabbinic literature, Bereshis Rabbah, chapter 8. This chapter unpacks a single, explosive verse, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." That one verse contains more theological depth, more controversy, and more hidden wisdom than almost any other line in the Torah. The sages spend this entire chapter wrestling with it, and what they uncover will change how you understand what it means to be human. So, let us walk through it together, section by section. The chapter opens with Rabbi Yohanan, who begins not with Genesis, but with a verse from Psalms. Psalm 139, verse 5. Last and verse, "You have fashioned me, and you have laid your palm upon me." What does this mean? Rabbi Yohanan says, if a person merits, he eats of two worlds, this world and the world to come. But if he does not merit, he will be required to give justification and reckoning for his actions. Then, Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar makes a stunning statement. When the Holy One created Adam, the first man, he created him as a hermaphrodite, both male and female in a single form. The proof? It is written, "He created them, male and female. He blessed them and called their name men." Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachman takes this further. He says, when the Holy One originally created Adam, he created him as two frontal figures, male and female, joined back to back. And then he sawed them apart and transformed the place of the cut into two backs, one back for the male figure and one back for the female figure. The sages challenge him, but does it not say, "And he took one of his ribs"? And Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachman responded, "The word tzela means one of his sides, like the side of the tabernacle, not a rib, a whole side." And it goes further. The sages say that when God first formed Adam, his unfinished body extended from one end of the world to the other. He was cosmic in scale. The verse says, "Back and front, you have fashioned me," meaning Adam's form encompassed the entire earth, east to west, north to south. Now, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish offers an alternative reading. He says, last refers to the final day of creation, and first refers to the first day. Man was fashioned last of all the work of the final day of creation, and first of all, the work of the first day of creation. His body came last, but his soul came first. And this is a critical point. If a man has been worthy, it is said to him, "You preceded even the ministering angels." But if he has not been worthy, it is said to him, "The fly preceded you, the gnat preceded you, the earthworm preceded you. Rabbi Kama Bar Kanina opens his discourse with a parable. He compares the situation to a province that would buy supplies from donkey drivers. And the drivers would ask each other, "What was the market price set today?" The point is this: just as each day's prices depend on the previous day, each day of creation builds on the one before. If you want to understand the hidden wisdom of creation, study the order. Work backwards from Adam on the sixth day, and each day reveals the logic of the one before it. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish then gives us a remarkable number. The Torah preceded the creation of the world by 2,000 years. As it is written, "I was then his nursling. I was then his delight day after day." And a day of the Holy One is 1,000 years. So when it says day after day, that is 2 days. That is 2,000 years. Now we hit the central question. And God said, "Let us make man." Us? Who is us? Who did God consult? Rabbi Yehoshua said, in the name of Rabbi Levi, God consulted with the work of the heaven and the earth, like a king who had 2 courtiers and would not do anything without their approval. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nahman said, God consulted with the work of each and every day of creation. Like a king with an advisor, he would not do anything without his approval. And Rabbi Ami said, God consulted with his heart. But Rabbi Yehoshua of Signin says in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, God consulted with the souls of the righteous. This is derived from the verse in Chronicles that speaks of the potters who dwelt in Netaim and Gederah. The potters are the souls of the righteous. They were with the king at his work, meaning they sat with God before creation, and he consulted with them and then created the world. Rabbi Berechiah reveals something stunning. When God was about to create Adam, he foresaw that both righteous and wicked people would descend from him. God said, "If I create him, wicked ones will go forth from him. But if I do not create him, how will righteous ones go forth from him?" So, what did the Holy One do? He removed the way of the wicked from before his face and joined with himself the attribute of mercy and created man. He set aside strict justice. He leaned into compassion, and he went ahead with the creation. Rabbi Asi adds a parable. A king engaged in business through a middleman and suffered a loss. Against whom should the king complain? Against the middleman? No, it is against his own heart. God created man on his own terms, knowing what would follow, and he was upset to his heart, not to anyone else. Now comes one of the most famous passages in all of Midrash. When God was prepared to create Adam, the ministering angels formed into various parties and groups. Some said, man should be created. Some said, he should not. Kindness said, let him be created, for he will extend kindness to others. Truth said, he should not be created, for he is all falsehoods. Righteousness said, he should be created, for he shall perform acts of righteousness. And peace said, he should not be created, for he is all quarrel. 2 for, 2 against, a deadlock. So what did God do? He took truth and threw it to the ground. The angels cried out, Master of the worlds, why do you disgrace your formal signet? Truth is your seal. And the verse confirms it. It's written in Daniel, truth shall be thrown to the ground. And from Psalms, let truth rise from the earth. God cast heavenly truth down so that an earthly truth, a human, subjective, lived truth, could sprout and grow from below. The angels continued their protests. They said, Master of the world, what is frail man that you should remember him, and the son of mortal man that you should be mindful of him? Why should this trouble be created? God replied with a question. If so, sheep and cattle, all of them, and also the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, the fish of the sea, why were they created? A king who had a tower full of every good thing, and he did not have wayfarers to enjoy it. What pleasure does the king have from that with which he filled it? Everything was made for men. Without men, there is no purpose to creation. And Rabbi Huna said in the name of Rabbi Eivu, God created man with foresight. He created what is required for man's sustenance first, and only afterward created him. The table was set before the guests arrived. Now the Midrash addresses the elephant in the room. When Moses was writing the Torah, he recorded the work of each day. But when he reached this verse, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, Moses said before God, Master of the world, why do you give an opening to the heretics? This sounds like there are multiple gods. God replied, write as I have dictated, and he who wishes to err will err. The Torah will not dumb itself down to avoid being misread. And indeed, the heretics came. They posed a series of questions to Rabbi Simlai, trying to prove polytheism from the plural language. They asked, what is the meaning of in the beginning Elohim created? Is Elohim not plural? Rabbi Simlai replied, it does not say they created in the plural. It says bara, he created, in the singular. The verb is singular every time. They tried again. What about the verse El, Elohim, Hashem, 3 names? Does that not indicate 3 gods? Rabbi Simlai replied, "It does not say they know. It says he knows." Three names for the same God, each expressing a different attribute. El is kindness, Elohim is might, and Hashem is mercy. When the heretics left, Rabbi Simlai's disciples said to him, "You push them away with a reed. What do you answer us?" He said, "The three of them together are the name of the one God, each one connoting a different attribute. Like a person would, say, Basileus Augustus Caesar, all titles for the same Roman emperor." Rabbi Hosea teaches that when God created Adam, the ministering angels actually mistook him for a divine being and wanted to declare before him holy. So what did God do? He cast a deep sleep upon Adam, and all knew that he was no more than a man. It is like a king and a prefect who were together in a carriage. The people wanted to call out "Master" to the king, but they could not tell which one was the king. So the king pushed the prefect out. Similarly, God put Adam to sleep to distinguish creator from creation. The sages then enumerate man's dual nature. God created in man 4 creations from above and 4 from below. The 4 from below, man eats and drinks like an animal, reproduces like an animal, excretes like an animal, and dies like an animal. The 4 from above, man stands erect like the ministering angels, speaks like the angels, possesses intellect like the angels, and sees like the angels. The Midrash now explains the verse, "They shall rule over the fish of the sea." Rabbi Kanina says, "If a man is worthy, he shall rule over the animal kingdom. If he is not worthy, he shall descend before them." The word can be read as "they shall rule," or as "they shall descend." It all depends on whether man retains the image of God. And Rabbi Yaakov of Kevar Kanin drives it home that which is in our image after our likeness shall rule, that which is not in our image after our likeness shall descend. There is no middle ground. Either you rule over the animal world, or the animal world rules over you. The Maharal explains, this is the distinction between Zurah, which is form and purpose, and Komer, which is raw material. Man was created as a Zurah. If he lives up to that calling, he is greater than the angels. But if he abandons it, he falls lower than the animals. A broken chair is neither chair nor wood. Finally, the chapter closes with God's blessing to Adam and Eve. The Midrash elaborates, Rabbi Abahu said to God, took a cup of blessing and blessed Adam and Eve. Rabbi Yehuda, son of Rabbi Simon, said, the archangels Michael and Gabriel were the wedding attendants of Adam, the first man. The chapter also addresses the command, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. The Midrash cites a halakhic dispute. Rabbi Elazar says in the name of Rabbi Yosef ben Zimrah that the word and subdue it is written in the singular, teaching that a man is commanded to be fruitful and multiply, but not a woman. The practical ramification? It affects who bears the obligation to marry and procreate under Torah law. And Rabbi Simlai said, we find that the Holy One blesses grooms, adorns brides, visits the sick, and buries the dead. He blesses grooms from the verse, and God bless them. He adorns brides from the verse. God fashioned the side that he had taken from the man into a woman and brought her to the man. He visits the sick from the verse, Hashem appeared to Abraham in the plains of Mamre, which was on the third day after his circumcision. And he buries the dead from the verse, he buried him in the depression. God is not a distant creator. He is a groom's best man, a bride's stylist, a nurse at the bedside, and a gravedigger in the valley. Every stage of human life, he is present. That is what it means to be made in his image, and that is the call to imitate him. And that is Bereshit Rabbah chapter 8, from the cosmic scale of Adam filling the world to the intimate act of God burying Moses. From the angelic debate over whether man should exist at all, to the quiet truth that God leaned into mercy and created us anyway. If this chapter resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Shalom.